Welcome in, team, and we are doing a second kettlebell blue workout today. So if you haven't done the green ones, if you're new to kettlebells, you'd like to learn a few of the foundations, make sure you jump back to those ones. But today we're gonna take those foundation lessons that we did with the kettlebell, the core bracing, the swings, the hip thrusts, and we're gonna apply them to some more advanced movements. This one is not gonna be high tempo, high paced. This one is more about coordination and challenging yourself. You can see here the first movement we've got is the TGU. It's one of the scariest and most not looked forward to movement in anyone's workout regime, the Turkish get up. But what we'll do first, I'm gonna go through every single movement here in the list and then we'll get into the workout. If you wanna skip that and go straight to the workout, check the description below. I've got a chapter marker, hit that, go, get your bell, get into it. So, first thing you're gonna want is probably a mat. If you're working on a rubber floor, I have done this before, but I've scraped a bunch of skin off of my knee onto the rubber because you're gonna be putting some weight on your knee. So you're gonna roll your mat out. First movement is the Turkish get up. Now this one does require a little bit of mucking about, and I would hazard a guess that my explanation portion today is gonna take probably just as long as the actual workout itself, right? So the first thing we wanna do with the Turkish get up is lay down on the floor. You might wanna watch this section a couple of times just to get the motions down right. But there's a couple of things about Turkish get ups that I wanna point out to. I had a quick watch of some YouTube videos, and I don't think I've seen any YouTube video that covers every single portion of the Turkish get up correctly and right. There are many that cover lots of sections correctly, but they skip over other bits. So I'm hoping this can be the Turkish get up explanation that covers every single point. It probably won't, there'll be something I forget, but I'm gonna try and cover everything. So the first thing you wanna do, laying down, this is a unilateral, so we're gonna be doing a single side first. We're gonna pick up the bell. Now, think back to our first two lessons. When you're holding the bell, and it's above, when you're not holding it and hanging, but it's up above your arm, your forearm's gonna be straight and your wrist is gonna be straight. We're not holding the kettlebell like this, okay? We're not compromising our wrists. We're gonna punch straight towards the ceiling with that straight wrist. So same deal happens here. Vertical forearm, vertical wrist. From here, what we're gonna do is set our arm to 45 degrees. So this is our supporting arm. So we've got the arm holding the bell, that's gonna be up here. Before we place it up in front of ourselves, I want the supporting arm to have a firm and solid placing next to our body at 45 degrees. That's 90 degrees, that's 0 degrees, there's 45 degrees. So the things to note here, as soon as we start the movement, we're gonna have the bell up above our body, straight arm, and we're not gonna move this hand. One of the big things that I see people do when they start the Turkish get up, they do this and they move the hand about. You're gonna place the hand and you're gonna leave that hand where it is, okay? That's part of the core bracing, that's part of the core control with this movement. So we're gonna take the bell straight up above our bodies, straight forearm, straight wrist. This hand stays down and it plants. The right leg comes up, and you see the right hand is the one holding the bell, so the right leg comes up. From here, what I'm gonna do is use my supporting hand to sit myself up, bang. See, I didn't move that hand at all. Now, this is the part that I see a lot of people skip. They do a kick underneath and they kick this left leg under their body, but they skip this portion, the hip rise. So this is a very, very important part of the Turkish get up, okay? Because we're using the left glute, we're using the hips to actually raise ourselves up off the floor. And this is a pretty difficult hold, just as this is. So up, from here, we're gonna take that, bring the knee back to the same level as our hand here. You see that? It's in line. We're then gonna stand ourselves up and lunge up, okay? So that's one half of the Turkish get up. In order to get back down, we reverse this. We're gonna step back, bell's in the right hand, step back with the left, hand on the floor next to the knee there, kick that leg through, hips up, sit the hips down, and then sit, reverse that sit up. So that is the Turkish get up. Couple of things there. Like I mentioned, some videos mention this, some videos mention half of those things. The forearm, straight up above the hand, or up above the body, sorry. the hand's out at 45 degrees and that hand doesn't leave the floor. Once it's planted on the floor, you don't move it when you sit up. And then you've got that hip thrust off of the ground. Don't just swing the leg under, okay? Here's an awful one. This is a bad rep, okay? A bad rep would be this. You see what I did wrong? My hand was moving and I kicked the leg underneath without that hip thrust, without that bridge in there, okay? So that's the Turkish get up. It's going to take you a few goes. It's gonna take you a little bit of a while to get that working. Here is what it looks like again. I'll do it on the left-hand side. Full rep. Thinking about everything. There. Okay. Complicated, I know, yes. You may only get 1 or 2 of these done in the 30 seconds allotted, but that's fine. That's fine, okay? So after our Turkish get-ups, we are moving into thrusters. So again, this is single hand. This is a unilateral. We're gonna move the mat because we don't need it straight away. If we're doing the right-hand side, a thruster is generally a squat and an overhead press. Squat and overhead press, okay? So what we're gonna do to begin with, single bell in between our feet here. We're gonna perform a clean to get it up into the rack position, okay? So if you wanna clean, you can actually do a couple of things. You can use the regress clean in order to get it up, which is basically right hand on the bell, left hand as support, up, and then now you've got the vertical forearm and you're catching it so that it's resting on the bicep and on the side of the forearm there. Okay, so now with our thruster, we're gonna squat down, full front squat, and then on the way up, transitioning straight into a press. So down and press up. A good thruster has a full deep depth squat, and it's not 2 movements. So this would be a squat and a press, but a thruster, you can see I'm using the upward momentum from the squat here in order to press that bell up into the ceiling. And obviously, we then go to the other side here. Squat, press. So it's a thrust all the way up. Heels remain on the floor with each of these. Nice deep squat, full overhead extension, standing up nice and tall and breathing into the belly there, bracing the core, squeezing the butt. So that's our thruster. After thrusters, we are then gonna do overhead lunges. So you can see what's going on here. The cleans that we learned yesterday, you can actually perform to catch it up here, start it off. We're gonna press overhead, and while it's in this overhead position, now we're gonna do lunges. So you see we're progressing from what we started a few days ago. We're taking the theories that we learned, we're now pressing up overhead and we're adding some more instability to these lunges. So you see when we were doing the rack to lunges, it was down here. It's extra weight, it's a little bit extra instability, but now that we're pressing up overhead and holding it there, that's adding more instability, more overhead shoulder mobility and stabilization required. So see how you go with those. After the overhead lunges, we are now working into snatches. Now this does require a little bit of extra tutorial as well. So a snatch is the process of picking a weight up off of floor level and bringing it to overhead in one quick movement. There's a few things about this. A clean is where it comes from the floor up to the shoulder level, up to the rack position. Now, a kettlebell snatch is actually very, very similar in that with the clean, you're performing a swing, but then as it reaches about chest level, you're picking that elbow up underneath, you're keeping it nice and close to your body, and you're catching it here. What we're doing with a snatch, we're performing the single arm swing. We are also keeping it nice and close to our body, but we're adding some extra power to the swing. So essentially, it's gonna go up past our shoulders, and it's gonna go up to our full height level here. What we do though, is that when it reaches about head level, the bell here, it's hard to do in slow motion. We're gonna do a single arm swing with enough power that when we bend that elbow and bring it up and it goes past our face here, as it swings over, we're gonna punch up and it lands on our wrist. Now, when I say lands on our wrist, the rhythm required so that it doesn't smack your wrist is as it goes past your face, that's when you're gonna watch the bell and then punch up into it. So watch me for a couple of reps here. It might be better if I flick over to the other camera as well, so you can see what goes on. Whoops. That's not good. What happened there? Done. So, watch what happens from behind. As I'm punching up, you can see the bell here. So you can see as it comes up past my head height, that's when it's flicking over, swing, up, rise, and then I punch up through with the rhythm required to not smack your wrist, okay? Any questions on that one? From anyone in chat here, are there any questions on the snatch? One hand might be a little bit different to the other, and you always with this one want to start off with a nice lightweight. So I've got a 6 kilo one here. Doing the snatch is exactly the same process with the lightweight as it is with the heavyweight here, a heavier weight. Obviously with a heavier weight, there's more swing and there's more pull at the top. Cool. All right, so that's the snatch. Use the time to practice the form, practice effectively, and like I said with previous workouts, take your watch off because the snatch is the #1 culprit for smashed watches when the timing is just off there. If you feel like you're damaging your forearms, you're bruising it up, stop. Your central nervous system needs time to process things and set it to memory, get that muscle memory in motion. So don't worry about it too long. Take a few days off and then try again later. So after the snatch, we've got the final movement of the workout. This is the lateral swing. So this one's a slightly different one. I don't often see this one taught a lot. And I think a lot of people need to do this one more often because again, I'm a huge fan of rotational strength and core strength there. So what we're gonna do now, the normal swing is pushing the butt back, pushing the bell behind us and using our hip hinge to thrust the bell forward. What we're gonna do with a lateral swing is start off low on one side, and you see I'm actually hip hinge, bell down low to one side, and then instead of thrusting forward, we're gonna thrust and twist up to the side here. So this is what it looks like. So you see it's hip hinge. The hip hinge is super important because what that enables me to do is not hit my knees with the bell. So you see if I'm going one direction, it's down low on the right hand side, thrusting forward and twisting up to the left hand side. We can then do it the other way. So we're gonna hinge at the hips, push the butt backwards, lean in one direction. You're gonna feel a lot more emphasis on one side, one set of glutes and one hamstring, and thrusting up, swinging up in the other direction here. So again, watching the knees, watching the shins, hinging at the hips and using the glute power from that thrust to lift it up in one direction, but also using the core to rotate in the other direction, or in that one direction there. Morning Beef, how are you going? And Pandolci FX, thanks for following. So that's the final movement in the workout today. Are you all ready? A lot of technical stuff going on, so please feel free, if you're watching this on YouTube, go back to the tutorial, pause, repeat, pause, repeat, pause, repeat, get it down, and then get into the workout here where we have 30-second blocks in which to practice these movements. So here we go. We're gonna get it started. 20 seconds time, we've got the Turkish get-ups, and we're gonna do them on the right-hand side first. So go get your mat, you've got a few seconds. And the right-hand side, the bell's gonna start down here in my right hand. Laying down flat. Remember, straight wrist. straight, arm out at 45 degrees here. Right leg goes up. Keep that hand down. Hips up. Kick the left under. Stand up straight and then lunge to the top. Lunging back, hand comes down to where the knee is. Kick that left leg through. Keep the hips up. Lower that down and then reverse that sit up. Sit up, keeping the hand on the floor. Hips up, kick the leg back, standing, and stand up straight there. Good. So you see in 30 seconds, I got 1.5 done. See how you go. If you need to pause it to get a few more reps in, please feel free. Feel free. There's nothing stopping anyone from pausing and doing a few more reps of this one. Okay. Oh, fantastic, B-Foot. You've got the TV in the garage like the old days. Man, that was good times, good times. We're back here, aren't we? It's gone full circle. Okay, let's go. Hand down, kick through, keep the hips up, drop the hips, reverse the sit up. Nice. That was good. How good are Turkish get-ups? So let me know how you went with them in the comments below or in chat right now. We're gonna get into our thrusters. So we're gonna perform a clean into the right hand in the rack position. Full squat, and then as we come up from that squat, performing that press before we end the squat so the weight has got momentum on the way up. So clean it up, rack position, go. This is a great movement. You'll notice that thrusters, because they use so much of your body, it uses legs, glutes, core, shoulders, arms. Number one movement to start raising that heart rate. Really, really, really good movement. And when you're doing it with one hand as well, it's a slightly different mechanic to when you're using a barbell or two dumbbells. A lot more instability. So again, trying to train ourselves whilst under unstable or asymmetric loads is the name of the game here. Clean. Let's go. Trying to keep this forearm vertical. That's why I'm watching myself in the camera, because I do have a little bit of a unwanted tendency with my left hand to actually not be vertical. Nice. Oh, B-Foot, that's exciting. Getting back into some of the home workouts there. Okay, we've got the overhead lunges right. So what we're doing with this one is, I should probably give myself a bit more headroom with this camera, shouldn't I? Wider angle. What we want to be doing is cleaning up to rack position, pressing up overhead, and now we're performing alternating forward lunges with this one hand up overhead, directly up overhead, okay? You want to be pointing straight towards the ceiling. Essentially, your ear is going to be on your bicep at this point. There we go. Big long steps, so your knee just kisses the floor. Stable, railway tracks. That were probably some of my least stable lunges ever. And I don't mind it because that's what we're aiming for. We've got the body up overhead, or the weight up overhead, and it's a bit shaky, trying to keep our core nice and strong. Now, very important with that one, I know Makalita will pick me up on this. I need to mention core, glutes, glutes, glutes. Whenever you've got things overhead, Super important that you're squeezing the butt, squeezing the quads, everything around here in order to keep yourself nice and stable. Not just stable, safe. Ayo, how you going? Duck saw. So up overhead, keeping this bell in a nice stable position as it's making our bodies unstable. Welcome in, mate. What's brought you in today? We're doing a intermediate kettlebell workout. That's the blue lighting. It's the tier level. Oh, stream's going well, Ducksaw. Yeah, we're working through some technical issues. We are doing a bit of a fundraiser for a new stream PC. But look, we work with what we've got, don't we? We've got snatches now, okay? Well, Ducksaw, does someone in chat mind doing the YouTube link, please? The best thing about what we're doing here is that we're actually recording a lot of these home workouts for YouTube. So we've got snatches to do now, okay? So it's a swing, catch up overhead. So remember, we're doing that really powerful swing and pull, and then punching as it goes past our face, punching into the hole so that our wrist just lands really, really nicely and softly into that nook of the kettlebell and catching up overhead. You're gonna do some cleans and snatches via kettlebell? Yes, yes. So yeah, Ducksaw, if you wanna do some YouTube videos at home, thank you GTA. You can follow along with the workouts that we've got there. Don't need any equipment. Sometimes you need a mat. Mats are good, but the last 1, 2, 3, 4, this is the fourth. This is our kettlebell series that we're doing. Okay, left hand snatch. These ones I do need to work on a little bit more. Okay, so swing, up. I feel like it's the high pull that's got me. Just the coordination, that was good. There we go, I've got it. So always remembering, hey, how you going? Nice, so for me right now, Dara DH, that's a 10 kilogram bell. We did go into a bit more detail in the beginner kettlebell workouts, how to pick the weight that works for you. So right now I'm on the first round, I'm working through with a 10 kilo, and the number reps of doing, I'm actually doing timed workouts, timed segments. So it's 30 seconds in each one. Now, 30 seconds is simply because this is a free workout that we're giving out to people on the internet. Lateral swings, I'm gonna swing them in the right hand direction. So it's down low on the left, swing it out to the right. Hip hinge. So really important that you're pushing the butt back and you've got a nice, maintaining a neutral spine. You're not adding any curvature to the spine throughout this whole swing. It's hinging at the hips. It's using your glutes and your hamstrings. And if we're swinging up to the right, you're actually gonna feel the left hand hamstring and left hand glute giving a lot of power to get up to the right. It's gonna be the same on the left hand side now. For this lateral swing left, we're gonna be down low on the right, power from the right hand glute and hamstring thrusting and swinging laterally. So what I probably will be doing, Dara, is moving to the 16 kilogram for the second round, and then potentially seeing how I go with the 24 kilo for the third round. Now it's gonna be different for everyone. Here we go. So down low, and then swinging up. Pushing that butt back, getting a nice solid core. Always core. Glutes. It's almost like a golf swing, isn't it? Almost. A lumberjack, a wood chopper, all of those really cool functional things. As always, if you feel pain, if you feel anything not quite right, then please stop. What these are meant to be doing is helping you to build strength in not so familiar movement patterns, yeah? Pick a kettlebell. Yeah, so that's a really good point to be making. This is what I said a couple of days ago. If you're gonna be picking a bell to start with, you'll want something that's light enough for you to do this comfortably. up overhead. If you can move a bell from here to here safely and without too much issue, that bell is okay for you. So, I mean, for myself,
You scored 0.
24 is a bit of a struggle. So for most of my overhead movements, I'm not gonna be touching that one. I'll be doing the 10s and the 16s. So we've got our Turkish get-ups, let's go. Turkish get-up, grab your mat. I'm gonna use the yellow bell with this one. Right hand side. Getting in the game, Jeff. Hips up. Remember that hip squeeze. Okay, I'm gonna step back with the left, hand on the floor, besides the knee. Kick that leg forward, keep the hips up, squeeze the butt, sitting back down, and then reversing that sit up. Nice, that was a good rep. Good rep. Remember all of those cues that we were talking about. Like I said, I struggled to find one YouTube video that had all of those things in the one video. Straight forearm, okay, through to the wrist. Hand at that 45-degree angle, plants on the floor and doesn't move. And then having the hips squeeze up. One solid hip squeeze before you bring that leg underneath, okay? Very, very important. Let's go. Let me talk you through all those again. So laying down, straight forearm, straight wrist. Hand out at 45 degrees is not gonna move. Left knee comes up. Perform that sit up without the hand moving. Hips up, squeeze the butt. Kick that leg under now. Up into the lunge, stand up straight, bring the knee down, hand in the same line as the knee, kick the leg forward, squeeze the butt, and then sit down. And my hand moved. So what that tells me is that bell is quite heavy, okay? Oh, Pen Dodge had the same question. No stress, don't be afraid, team, if you're here watching. We love our lurkers. We love people that are sitting back quietly, but if you have a question, I definitely won't bite. And if I can't answer it because I'm doing the workout, we have some very, very intelligent people in our chat as well that are more than capable of answering, and then I can actually get behind their answers. So thrusters, right hand side. I'm gonna upgrade to this yellow one. So what we're gonna do, perform the clean. We're gonna squat and then press up overhead. Now a thruster, a good thruster, is gonna be using that leg drive to get the bell up overhead. Daxel. I see you. I see what you're getting at. Okay, left hand thrusters. I've said this before, the left hand is the one that I struggle a little bit with. So I'm gonna try and focus a lot on the verticality of the forearm with this one. Okay, let's do this clean. Let's go. See, it's not sitting right for me. There we go, that's what I want. I've got a funny thing, Grace. My left wrist is not as strong as my right wrist. Which is very, very funny considering that I use computers as much as I do, because I normally find that the right wrist is an issue for gamers. It might be the years of guitar playing, maybe, because I've just had so much abuse of my wrist playing guitar. Maybe, don't know. It's interesting for me. Okay, here we go. Duck saw. Fully appropriate. Okay, here we go. We're gonna get into this clean press, keeping it up overhead here, okay? Lunges. We're gonna lunge forward, keeping our feet on railway tracks. This is a great working weight for me. Yellow. See, I'm bracing my core. Big deep breath in. Oh. But it's also stronger, Marcolito. You're probably right, yeah. So for me, and also it might be because I wear a watch on my left and I don't give it as much work as the right hand one. But yeah, just the way that it sits tends to hurt me a bit more with the left. But that's why we're doing this, okay? Yeah, duck saw, 100%. It's an unstable form of lunge. So it's a lot for overhead shoulder strength. Overhead shoulder stuff doesn't get done enough just in everyday life. And it's one of the things that gets injured very, very often. The most common injuries I hear about in fitness and sports, shoulder injuries. And funnily enough, I hear a lot about back injuries, but with the right care, back injuries and back pain tends to go away. For 90% of cases, back pain goes away when people start actually bracing their core properly, when they start actually fixing the muscles required to stand up straight and hold a good posture. Knees are pretty common too, yeah. Bench press and deadlift. I should say bench press and deadlift done wrong. When people do them wrong, that's when they have issues with those parts of the body. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna try the snatches with the yellow. This is gonna be a little bit of a, oh yeah, that feels good. So you see how much work I have to do with that pull? With that swing and pull, so that it's got enough momentum to go up past my head. More butt stuff. Pew, pew, pew. Pew, 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 pew. So much more power with the swing and the pull, so that as it's passing my head, that's when I punch up and catch it with the left. Now this is gonna be a little bit, you haven't seen 2 injuries on the bench with good form, torn muscle and broken shoulder. Oof. What sort of weights were they pushing though, Marcolito? And to be fair, that wouldn't be the form being the issue, would it? It would just be the musculature. Oh, lovely. One more. They're actually some of the best snatches I've done with the left hand ever. Okay, here we go. Laterals. We need more on top of the screen. Yeah, I know. I need a wider lens, don't I? Then I get too much of the desk in shot. That's fine. We're good. Okay, lateral swings. We're gonna go to the right hand side. So what I'm gonna be doing is starting off low on the left. Low on the left, so hip hinge. It doesn't have to go any higher than the shoulders. So you see I'm pushing my butt back so that I'm maintaining a nice neutral spine. Cool. You're gonna feel that a lot in the glute and the hamstring on the side that you're down low on, because you kick it up on the other side there, standing up nice and straight, extending the hips forward. Oh, that infamous, the video, yeah, where it just pops in like one of those roller blinds. Okay, here we go, lateral swings to the left, starting low on the right hand side. So hinge at the hips. Thrusting the hips forward. So I'm standing up straight as, yeah, the color. Watch your knees and your shins, keeping the heels flat on the floor. we go. Good. How's that feeling? How's that feeling, chat? Heart rate's up there now. It's a good workout. Mel, fantastic. You know what I say when people ask me, hey, what should I buy for my home gym? Bands are always a good one because it's a nice, inexpensive. Migsy! Thanks, mate. How are you? It's a really inexpensive way to add resistance to your movements. But the bells, I don't think there's any other feeling you get from swinging a heavy piece of metal around under your control. It's a powerful feeling. Now, you might say that this movement looks fun. It's not, just ask Grace. It's not an easy movement. I'm gonna use the yellow because I don't think I could do this with the green one just yet. Okay, laying on the floor. Straight arm, straight forearm, straight wrist. 45 degrees, right knee. Perform the sit up. Hips up, hold that, leg under. And then the lunge, up, down, hand down. Kick that leg, heat the hips up, sit down, and then perform that reverse, sit up, and there's your time. 1 rep is good in 30 seconds. Yeah, absolutely, Duxor, I agree. Agreed. Combinations of bands in a pull-up bar. If you do have something to actually attach a band to overhead, really good. A lot of people don't have access to that. So when we're talking about, accessible things for people, bands are very good. Bands actually sometimes come with an attachment you can put into a door frame. So you put it over the top of the door, close the door, and that's like an overhead attachment point. So they're very good too. Okay. It's the sit back down. Gets me every time. Yeah, Mel, you'll work up to it slowly. You can actually begin that movement without a kettlebell. Just have your hand up in the air. You can use a very light dumbbell if you want as well. It's one of the classic gym movements. It just confuses people, but when you nail it, have a look at the video of Juji Mufu doing that with a 60 kilo barbell. It's impressive. When you know what sort of effort it takes to do just off the bat, super impressive. So here we go. We're gonna clean this up into the rack position now. Clean. Thrusters, so squat, press. See, I'm using more leg power. I felt my shoulders straining, so I'm gonna use leg power. Drive it up. Nice. Tuxel. Yeah, I've done a few Turkish get-ups in my time. 2 to 3 long bands, 2 to 3 short bands, 2 to 3 sets of bells. Yeah. If you can find a good supplier of bells, a local supplier, because the most expensive cost in buying a kettlebell is actually the shipping, generally speaking. Okay, we got thrusters now, so let's go. Clean. That was an awful clean, by the way. Don't practice that. Straight up overhead. One more. Great. How good is the sweat? How good is the output right now? So we've got our overhead lunges. It's a clean and a press while it's overhead. Press. Duxor, 100% correct as well. Yeah. The other thing you can do, it's January now, but guarantee you, in about 6 weeks' time, somewhere between February and March, You can have all those people overhead lunge. So we're gonna do clean press while it's up overhead here. Let's go. Lunge, and then back up. Lunge. So yeah, while it's January, people are still gonna be doing their new regimes. Like, I don't like this. I don't like that this is a meme, but a lot of people are gonna start doing their workouts in January and they're gonna fall off the wagon. So, unfortunately, it's just the fact of life. People go back to work, people lose motivation, they lose discipline, and they stop doing what they were doing. So you'll probably find February, March, check your local garage sales, check your local classified ads. There are gonna be people selling off some gym equipment that they bought for summertime, for Christmas. Okay, we got overhead lunges on the left-hand side. Let's go. I know people that have kitted out their whole home gyms from garage sale seconds. And a lot of the time you wouldn't even know. Like, people look after their stuff, even if it's very near new. But again, yeah, a lot of gyms, commercial gyms. Now for me, because I'm running a studio here and it is being used by my clients, my insurance actually requires me that I buy new gear that's under warranty and is maintained. So for me, I can't really be buying secondhand stuff. But for you at your home gym, there's no reason why you can't save money by grabbing some pre-loved goods. Okay, well, snatches now. I'm gonna maintain this yellow bell. Remember, it's a really powerful single arm swing. Instead of going out in front of you, it's gonna stay nice and close. As it passes your head, swing the bell and punch through. I'm gonna switch camera so you can see this one, okay? Here we go. I'm gonna face you over here. How do they look? How do they fit, team? Is that high enough? Can you actually see me get up overhead? You can, good. Good, that's a good angle. I'm gonna maintain that. I'm gonna watch you over there, guys. Thanks, Gardner. I feel good about those ones. Here we go. Left hand is where my form might fall apart a little bit, but listen for this timer. There we go. Look at my heart rate. I can see that heart flashing on the wall. Heart rate's turned to orange. Nice. You don't trust secondhand things? Yeah, well, when you're moving as much weight as you do, Muckalito, then yeah, I'd probably be looking for some brand new warrantable stuff. The aggressive eye contact, was it really? I didn't mean to be. All right, let's get these lateral swings in. We're going to the right-hand side now. It's all glutes. It's all glutes, it's all hamstrings. We're hinging. Oh, hey, 3M, or rip off 3Ms. It actually isn't 3M, is it? They'll rip off brands. Oh, hey, sticky pads. Not holding up my nano leaves. Yes, yes. Looking deep into the soul. Duck's or haunted skeleton, soul staring. Hey Jeff, you gotta fix your nano leaves. All right, Bones, we'll do that. Team, we've got 45 more seconds, okay? 45 more seconds of our kettlebell. We're gonna swing to the left, down low on the right, hip hinge. Watch your knees, watch your shins. Be very, very careful, please. okay? So lots and lots of glutes on the right-hand side here. Swinging it laterally. Big brace core at the bottom. Doesn't have to go up much higher than your shoulders. In fact, I wouldn't like it to go any higher than that. If you can get it to your shoulders, then you probably need a heavier weight. And well done. So team. That was a great intermediate session. You see there from the green ones we did, it was more about form. It was more about talking about squeezing your butt, bracing that core, and making sure all of the movements had all of the hallmarks of a great kettlebell movement. Straight forearms, wrists straight up. It's not like that. Wrists straight up. Bracing the core. Our spines remain neutral throughout every single movement. We're not curving like this. Swings, they all come from hip drive. Cleans come from hip drive. That twist in order to catch it with the 45-degree angle of the handle. All of those things start to culminate in what we did today in the intermediate level one. If you need a reminder, no shame in going back and watching those green ones again and again and again, because you're gonna remind yourself, and I need a reminder sometimes too. I'm lucky enough to have a live chat here, which you can join by going to twitch.tv/fit4purpose every weekday morning in Adelaide time. So join me again tomorrow, or if you're on YouTube, look for the purple kettlebell workout. Tomorrow is gonna be the advanced level kettlebell workout, where we take all of the things that we learned this week, all of the things that we put together that made us struggle, and string them into one of the most epic kettlebell workouts that you're gonna do ever. So tomorrow is the advanced one, not for the faint of heart, and definitely not for people that have just bought a new kettlebell. You're gonna wanna become very, very adept at throwing that around first, and then try the purple one. So join us then. Until next time, rest, recover, eat well, sleep well, be well. And I'll see you next time.